How often do we measure our worth by the applause of others? How many mornings do we wake up rehearsing the same smile, the same confidence, the same flawless performance, while our hearts quietly tremble with doubt? This is the paradox of modern life. The more we perform success, the less we feel it. The mask we wear is not just for others. It is a shield against our own awareness of fear, inadequacy, and the shadow lurking beneath our achievements. Beneath the polished exterior lies a silent tension, an unspoken question haunting every decision. Am I enough if no one is watching? Tonight, we begin a journey into the hidden architecture of our minds, into the unconscious forces that shape behavior, and into the very fear that disguises itself as ambition. You will see the patterns that govern your life, often without your knowledge, and you will learn how to confront them, not as a threat, but as a doorway to awakening. We live in a world that celebrates the visible, the measurable, the seemingly flawless. Success is displayed in accolades, in titles, in social recognition. But what if these measures are nothing more than reflections of the persona we have carefully constructed? This persona acts as a mask, allowing us to appear competent, confident, and fearless, while it simultaneously conceals the trembling uncertainty within. The mask protects us from scrutiny, but it also traps us, isolating the authentic self from the world. Behind every victory lies the shadow of anxiety, the subtle dread of exposure. The deeper truth is that this mask can dictate our choices, steering us away from challenges that could reveal our imperfection, away from opportunities that could awaken the courage buried beneath fear. Recognizing this illusion is the first step. The moment you see the mask for what it truly is, you begin to reclaim the self that exists beyond performance, beyond judgment, and beyond the relentless pursuit of approval. There is a part of you that speaks in silence, a voice so subtle it is often mistaken for hesitation, doubt, or fatigue. This is the shadow, the hidden self that holds everything we deny: anger, envy, fear, and desire. It thrives in the unseen corners of the mind, shaping decisions and reactions without ever announcing itself. Every time you suppress a feeling, every time you justify inaction, the shadow grows stronger, weaving patterns that escape conscious recognition. It is not malevolent, it is essential. It carries truths about your deepest vulnerabilities and untapped potential. To ignore it is to live half alive, to react to life instead of truly choosing. To face it is to step into awareness, to acknowledge the parts of yourself you have hidden, even from yourself. When you listen carefully, the shadow whispers the secrets of your inner life, revealing the unconscious architecture of fear and desire, and illuminating the path toward authentic transformation. Fear is often invisible, a silent engineer shaping the architecture of our lives. It determines the paths we walk, the risks we avoid, and the choices we claim are rational. The fear of failure does not announce itself with urgency. It lingers quietly, guiding decisions, constraining ambition, and whispering that safety lies in repetition, conformity, and pretense. It disguises itself as prudence, as responsibility, or as reason, and yet it is profoundly personal, rooted in childhood, past disappointments, and unprocessed wounds. This hidden architect designs our behaviors to protect us, yet it also confines us, keeping us from growth and from experiencing our true potential. To confront it, we must first recognize how subtly it influences our daily actions, how deeply it shapes the life we believe is ours. Only by illuminating this unseen force can we reclaim control, transform hesitation into courage, and redirect fear from a prison into a guide toward authenticity. We often wonder why. Despite knowing better, we repeat the same mistakes. choose the same unfulfilling paths, and settle for outcomes that betray our deepest desires. This is the invisible cycle of self-sabotage, born from the interplay between fear, doubt, and unresolved inner conflict. Each attempt to avoid failure, each effort to maintain the mask of perfection, paradoxically, leads us back to the very outcomes we fear. The mind, seeking safety, enforces patterns that feel familiar even when they harm us. We procrastinate, we overthink, we compromise our authentic choices for comfort or approval. Unaware that these behaviors are scripted by unconscious forces, understanding this cycle is crucial because awareness is the first rupture in its repetition. When you trace the hidden loops, recognize the triggers, and witness how your own defenses have become obstacles, you create the opportunity to break free, to act consciously, and to allow genuine progress to emerge from the patterns you once mistook for inevitability. The masks we wear do not stay confined to our own lives. They infiltrate every connection we form. In relationships, the persona we project often dictates how we are seen and how we respond, shaping intimacy, trust, and vulnerability. We present the version of ourselves we believe others will accept while concealing doubt, fear, or desire. This careful performance creates distance, even in the closest bonds, because authentic connection requires the courage to show what is hidden. Patterns emerge. We attract partners who mirror our fears. We repeat conflicts that echo our insecurities, and we shield ourselves from rejection by maintaining a carefully curated image. The consequence is subtle, yet profound: a quiet loneliness, a sense that we are never fully known, never fully understood. To dissolve the mask in relationships, we must first acknowledge it, accept the discomfort of vulnerability, and begin the deliberate practice of revealing the self that exists beneath the performance, one honest moment at a time. To live a life measured by others' expectations is to rent existence from a world that will never truly own it. Every choice made to gain approval, every compromise of desire or principle, is a debt to a life that is not yours. The borrowed life is comfortable in appearance, accolades, recognition, social validation, but beneath it lies a quiet erosion of meaning, a persistent emptiness that no achievement can fill. You may climb, succeed, and perform flawlessly, yet feel disconnected from the very self that inhabits your thoughts and dreams. Over time, the cost becomes undeniable: lost passions, muted creativity, relationships constrained by performance, and a mind constantly calculating how to please rather than how to live. Recognition of this cost is not condemnation, it is a call to awaken. By discerning which choices belong to you and which are imposed, you reclaim ownership over existence, transforming borrowed success into authentic engagement with your own unfolding story. Beneath the surface of daily life lie timeless patterns that mirror the inner journey of the soul. Archetypes da, hero da, shadow da saja exist, not only in myths and stories but within us, guiding our behaviors, desires, and fears. These mythic patterns operate silently, influencing how we respond to challenge, how we pursue purpose, and how we confront our limitations. When we remain unaware, they manifest as repetition, conflict, or longing without explanation. Yet when we observe them consciously, we recognize a hidden map within the psyche, a guide through the unknown terrains of fear, ambition, and transformation. By tracing these archetypal currents, we begin to understand that the struggles we endure are not random, but a reflection of a deeper journey, the soul calling us toward growth, integration, and authenticity. In this understanding, Our personal challenges gain meaning, and the patterns of the unconscious reveal the path toward inner awakening. There is a voice inside, sharp and relentless, that evaluates, judges, and often undermines every decision we make. This inner critic masquerades as reason, offering caution and advice. Yet, its true nature is protective fear. It seeks to keep us safe by preventing failure, exposure, and disappointment. Its whispers grow louder when we step toward growth, when we challenge old patterns, or when we consider stepping outside the familiar. Most of us treat this voice as truth, allowing it to dictate our actions and limit our potential. To confront it is to recognize it as separate from the self, to observe without surrendering, and to understand the fears it encodes. In facing this critic, we learn discernment, the ability to distinguish between guidance and restriction. The inner critic becomes a mirror, reflecting unacknowledged anxieties and revealing where courage is needed. Only by confronting it directly can we reclaim autonomy and begin to act in alignment with authentic desire. True strength is not found in perfection, but in the courage to reveal what we hide. Vulnerability is often mistaken for weakness, yet it is the gateway to connection, creativity, and transformation. When we allow ourselves to show uncertainty, fear, or imperfection, we stop performing for approval and begin acting from authenticity. This does not mean reckless exposure. It is a deliberate, conscious opening to experience life fully, including risk and discomfort. Vulnerability creates resonance. It allows others to see us as we truly are, fostering trust and meaningful bonds. Within this practice lies profound psychological liberation. The tension between fear and openness becomes a teacher, guiding us to align actions with values and desires. By embracing vulnerability, we invite growth, deepen self-understanding, and discover that authenticity carries far greater power than the carefully constructed masks we rely upon to survive. The parts of ourselves we deny, reject, or fear holds the key to transformation. The shadow is not an enemy. It is a reservoir of hidden strength, creativity, and insight that has been suppressed by judgment, fear, or societal expectation. Ignoring it creates imbalance, manifesting as self-sabotage, projection onto others, or chronic dissatisfaction. Integration begins with acknowledgement, recognizing the traits we have disowned without shame or condemnation. As we observe these hidden aspects, we see their influence on our choices, relationships, and emotional patterns. Gradually, the shadow can be embraced as a guide rather than a threat, transforming impulses once seen as dangerous into conscious energy. Through this process, fear loses its grip, authenticity grows, and the psyche becomes whole. The act of integrating the shadow is not merely psychological, it is a journey toward becoming fully ourselves, navigating life with depth, insight, and courage. Much of what shapes our lives occurs beneath awareness. Our habits, choices, and reactions are often guided by unconscious patterns, echoes of past experiences, inherited beliefs, and unresolved emotions that operate like a hidden script. These patterns influence whom we trust, the risks we take, and the relationships we cultivate. Yet we rarely recognize their presence. Life begins to feel repetitive, as if we are trapped in invisible loops, repeating mistakes despite conscious intention. Observing these patterns requires deliberate attention and honest self. By bringing them to light, we begin to understand the forces directing our behavior, to discern which impulses serve us and which restrict us. Awareness allows us to interrupt automatic reactions, to choose differently, and to reclaim autonomy over decisions that once seemed inevitable. Understanding these unconscious dynamics is essential to breaking free from self-imposed limitations and stepping into authentic agency. Failure is not the end, it is a mere reflecting truths we often refuse to see. Every setback, mistake, or disappointment carries within it a message from the unconscious, highlighting areas of fear, unacknowledged desire, and unresolved conflict. Yet most of us recoil, judging ourselves harshly, avoiding the discomfort, or masking the pain with excuses and justification. Transformation begins when we shift perspective. Failure becomes feedback, a tool for understanding, not a verdict on worth. By examining what each failure reveals, we uncover patterns, challenge limiting beliefs, and gain insight into our authentic motivations. The process is not painless. It demands courage, reflection, and the willingness to confront the parts of ourselves that resist change. When embraced consciously, failure ceases to be a source of shame and becomes the vehicle for profound psychological growth, guiding us towards self-mastery, resilience, and a deeper alignment with our true potential. Within each of us lies an inner compass, subtle and often ignored, guiding toward authenticity, purpose, and alignment with our deepest values. It speaks not in words, but in subtle nudges, feelings, and intuitions, often drowned out by fear, doubt, or the clamor of external expectations. When we ignore this compass, we follow paths that feel safe but hollow, chasing achievements that leave the soul unfulfilled. Awakening it requires stillness, reflection, and the willingness to listen without judgment, to trust instincts even when they contradict comfort or convention. As we cultivate awareness, we begin to discern true desires from imposed obligations, recognize opportunities aligned with growth, and act with intentionality rather than compulsion. This awakening is subtle yet profound. It transforms uncertainty into guidance, hesitation into action, and fragmented living into a journey of coherence, where choices reflect not masks, but the authentic self emerging into conscious life. True mastery is not measured by recognition or accolades, but by the conscious integration of the self. The mask we were crafted from fear, social expectation, and self-doubt can no longer dictate our actions when we face it with honesty. Mastery emerges as we acknowledge the shadow, confront the inner critic, and embrace vulnerability, transforming what once constrained us into sources of insight and strength. This process is neither linear nor easy. It requires persistent reflection, courage, and willingness to fail in order to learn. As the mask dissolves, authenticity replaces performance, and decisions arise from alignment rather than obligation. In this state, success is no longer borrowed from the approval of others. It is lived through intentional action, deep understanding of the self, and a fearless engagement with life's uncertainties. Mastery is the union of courage, awareness, and authenticity. Life lived fully awake. Every mask we wear, every fear we hide, ultimately reflects back to us the truth of who we are. The soul speaks in subtle ways, through longing, discomfort, and the silent tension between desire and avoidance. When we confront the masks, embrace the shadow, and recognize the unconscious forces shaping our behavior, we begin to see ourselves with unprecedented clarity. This is not a simple revelation, it is an awakening, a realization that courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act despite it. The mirror of your soul shows both your vulnerability and your potential, the aspects you resist and the strength you overlook. By stepping fully into this reflection, you encounter your authentic self, flawed, powerful, and profoundly alive. The journey does not end with understanding. It begins with living deliberately, choosing authenticity over performance, and allowing the hidden currents of the psyche to guide a life that is truly your own.